So this is a beautiful cabinet. This is a built-in in our new kitchen at the new house, but I don't think it adds any character to my kitchen space. So I am looking for spaces to use to be able to put some of my hutches, and unfortunately this cabinet has to go. We needed to move this cabinet so I could get one of my beautiful hutches in here to be able to display all my yummy secondhand finds. So even though Chris was not thrilled about moving it, he did. So this is the story of where this piece went and what I did in that room. Hi guys, welcome. Yes, we are still in the process of moving. We have not sold our house. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's getting to be a little bit stressful. If you're wondering, I mean, our house, we don't want to give our house away. Our house is upper on the, for our area price range, because we have kept our house maintained. We have a beautiful workshop. We have a beautiful shed. We have a fence. There's so many extras that we have in our house that actually we're selling it under their appraisal now, but now we just have to write it out. All the feedback has been wonderful. We just still are waiting for the right person to make that move and give us an offer and want to buy our house. Oh yeah, stressful. So anyway, it gives us time. God wink moment, it gives us time to work on areas in our house. So I have been actually working on the back room area. So the back room area, we moved a cabinet. It was unfinished for some reason. They had put trim up and things like that. So I'm going to share that process with you and what was going on in that room. And everybody does construction a little bit different. So when we moved the cabinet there, Chris had to take off this trim, and for whatever reason, it just didn't get finished. It's just pine, a lot of knotties. So when we first decided to move the cabinet, we thought we were going to just butt it right up against the wall in that corner, just make it nice and tight, give you extra room. But when we ended up moving the cabinet in there, he decided to leave some space so I could set a broom, I could set something else in that little cubby space and not necessarily put it all the way up. So he didn't necessarily have to move as much trim as he did, but it is what it is. Sometimes, it's an afterthought once you get a piece where you want it. Now, we knew that it was not going to be easy to move this piece in. It's all one piece, solid cabinetry. Yes, so if you don't notice, we actually have it on like furniture movers, four-wheeled, so it's a little bit easier to roll in there, and we were hoping that it was going to make the turn. You just never, you never know. Like, okay, you go this way, I go that way. Let's hope that we don't hit any of the drywall and mess it up.
Wonder if I leave a little gap there. I mean, it covers up the outlet, but how many outlets do we need in this room?
Right.
And then you'd have a spot maybe for brooms and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm doing some spackling. I have to climb on a ladder and get up here. I don't like climbing on a ladder, but so I need to paint all this trim first. There's huge gaps though, so I have a lot of caulking to do. Look at that gap. So And then look at that gap. So I have a lot of caulking to do and spackling in this room before I can do the trim or paint it, because I want to paint my trim first. So, and then this is where like the kitties' litter boxes are going to be, and we have an extra little small refrigerator and freezer, so we want those out here also. I'm trying to talk them into the door that's on in the farmer's office that's attached, that's missing glass, to give me a pantry door, but I don't know. He may or may not let me do that. Okay, I think I got everything caulked and spackled. We made the executive decision that the top part is just going to need some kind of extra trim. It's just too big of a gap for caulk. Get all the outlet covers removed. I need to do the trim around the window too. I have figured out that I think all the trim in the house has not actually been painted. That's how it was purchased. So it's been caulked but not painted. And then I'm unsure what I want to do with this wall. I know that I don't want to paint it white. I'd love it to be a little accent wall. I know it's a back room, but why can't we make it pretty? So I'm going to hold off on my idea. Look at that caulk job. There was so much caulk that had to be there. But I'm a little worried that my caulk is changing color, that this pine is going to bleed through my paint. But now I'm going to have a whole bunch of sanding to do. The door is unpainted. All the doors, pretty much, most of the doors are unpainted. So that needs to be painted, and I'm just going to paint that white. But oddly enough, when we gathered all the supplies that were around the house, in the garage, in the barn, I know y'all, look at, we are filling this barn up in no time. We want to go through and see, maybe they were going to like put some trim. I know that the kitchen, there's a gap at the underneath of the cabinetry that I know probably this quarter round is for. So we're trying to look to see if by chance they had some kind of trim that they were planning on putting at that ceiling and it just didn't get completed. So I have a lot of sanding to do, so I threw on a glove. I'm going to use a sanding block that's been well loved, but I want to make sure that I'm sanding that whole piece of pine down too. So I'm just using some 150 grit and some elbow grease to start working on sanding it, and it is going to be quite a mess. It is actually sanding off rather easy, but there's just a lot of surface area. I tried to do the nail holes. I tried to do the knots, because the knots had holes also. So I just, if I'm going to do it, I might as well take my time and do it right.
It was rough the sander, huh?
This works. I know you probably all thought I should have had a mask on, but even with the air conditioner going and fans going, this little back room was hot. I don't know if I could breathe very well, but I mean, most of the sanding dust you'll see is now on the floor. So before I can do anything else, now I'm going to have to sweep up and vacuum really well, because look at it, it's just all just laying on top of, and I made sure that the caulk, this is the next day, I wanted to make sure my caulk was dry before sanding it. That way that none of the sanding dust was sticking to the caulk. So I'm hoping that I'm matching up with what she had. She had all bare products. So I'm hoping that this is a close match. If I need any touch up, I did not find any of this type of paint for the trim or anything in her stash. So I'm hoping that this pure white, I think all the trim in the house is pure white. I mean, it's always a guesstimate, isn't it, y'all? So, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna paint that back room, and we'll see if it matches, because there's a couple windows, like over here in the laundry room, I noticed, that have been caulked, but it's grabbing, so it means it hasn't been painted over, so it's grabbing dust and stuff. And I know my kitty cats are going to love this space to look out the window. 2 windows you can see from both sides. Oh, they will be in kitty heaven. But see how you can see the caulk. So I'm hoping, I mean, it won't be bad to have to paint, but I'm hoping that that is pretty darn close to what she painted. And then my other thing is, I don't know if this is going to yellow, if the paint is going to yellow through this pine. This has primer in it, so I'm hoping, but I noticed when I was spackling that it was kind of turning yellow, especially this has a ton of knots, so we wish me luck that we're not gonna have to go back and use some type of a shellac product. So as I'm over here painting today and Chris is working in the barn, there is somebody looking at our house, so we hope that's a good omen. But it is nice to get to do all these little projects without having all our stuff moved in. So anyhow, and I want to paint my trim first, then I don't have to worry about the wall. It's easier to cut in from the wall to the trim than the trim to the wall. So, yeah, I'll just keep on painting. And just like any other paint, you know, one coat, get that on, and then it'll grab that second coat really well. And then if you missed any caulk, the white will show. So I can go back in and caulk anything. I can go back in and caulk anything that may need caulked. So I did all I could without having to get onto the ladder, but now I need to get up on the ladder. So far, it doesn't look like it's yellowing, but sometimes it takes, you know, a day or so, a week or so. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that the knots don't cause problems, because, oh my gosh, those are just not nail holes. Those are a whole bunch of knots that I tried to fill in as much as I could. So now on to getting on to the ladder. So yeah, I'm still trying. Oh no, I tripped on the wall. Oh no. That's okay. I can sand it. I can sand it. Oh, don't you hate that? You want to accent wall and then you're like, hey, let me, shoot. We'll get that off. A small room like this would take, it seems like it's taken forever, I think, because of all the trim. And is it worth doing all that caulking? And that looks amazing. There's something about white, and you paint white and you don't caulk, it just looks so unfinished. Just amazing what a little bit of caulk, okay, well, a lot of caulk, well, it's not a lot of caulk to fill the holes, but a lot of caulk in, like, I know it's just a back room. I know it's just a back room, but oh my gosh, it just, yay, it just looks amazing. Well worth the time. And yes, we have to put something at the ceiling. There's too much of a gap. I know I'm gonna have to repaint the ceiling anyway, because even the trim that's gonna go up on that part is still painted out, not painted out far enough. So yeah. So anyhow, yeah, back to painting, and I will be surprised if it covers in 2 coats. I'm sure I'll have to do 3. And I'm still on the prayer list of please don't bleed and stay nice and white. So a total of 4 coats, and I'm sure there are pieces and areas and whatnot that that probably are going to need a little bit of a touch up here and there. Oh my goodness. That was way too much. Way too much. Way too much, I tell you. So now we're gonna go ahead and start rolling. Cutting in first, but rolling. Okay, so 2 coats of cutting in, 1 coat so far. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. The bottom area I know I need to touch up, and I have a lot of tape to remove. And for this room, it's really struggling, like my camera's really struggling to focus in, I think because it is so light. But yes, you can tell the different colors. It's the same color as we painted the rest of the house. So thank you so much for watching. Yeah, there's a little bit of work that still needs to be done in that room. Yeah, I'm gonna have to replace the flooring. That's weird that it lifts. I think I have enough tiles from my bathroom that I did in this house, maybe to redo that room. Still needs some molding. We need to make a table for extra. So there's, we needed to make a table. So that's where the cat's litter boxes are going to be. And then above it, we have a little small fridge and freezer just for the 2 of us. Extra we want to put in that room. So there's still a little bit that needs to go on in that room, but at least it's freshly painted. You don't have to worry about paint splatters and that darn white. It took so many coats, but so far so good. The knots are not coming through. So let's hope, and I don't see any yellowing going on. A little bit around the door frame, but you really have to study that and the exterior door. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the journey, and we will see you next time, and you can see what we're up to. Love y'all. Bye.